Hello and good evening. Hopefully this is working. We had some internet issues right as we were getting ready to come online here. So if the camera's angle is bad, I apologize. I'm doing the best I can with what I got. So just bear with me on that one. Making sure we got some things set up and in place that hopefully will keep us from getting too annoyed with the internet. All right, sorry about that, people. Let's see what we got here. Jedi, good to see you. Perwin, welcome back, man. Angela, good to see you. Anthony, Small Bean, hey. Jade, glad you can make it. Vinry, welcome. Maria, good to see you. And celebrating live. All right, cool. All right, if you are here, be sure to hit the thumbs up. The YouTube algorithm loves that thumbs up button. Lets them know that you like what we're doing here. And, well, I'm a YouTuber. I'm trying to get this information out, so I got to do the obligatory. Be sure to hit the like button. You know how that goes. Got tonight's coffee here flowing. And one of our fancy little Dragon Eye artistic seal mugs. You can check those out at the merch shop. By now, you all should know we have an online school where you can get online courses. Just check that out, workingdragonmystic.com. Y'all know about that. Also, we will be continuing our, if you donate to the channel, $5 through Super Chats during a live stream, you will be included in a spell working for luck, prosperity, and health. And whether you want to ask a question or not, if you do ask a question, of course, since it is a super chat, it flashes it up all fancy. Make sure I don't miss it because we do get busy up in here. But if you don't want to ask a question, but you just want the spell working, any super chat of $5 or more is automatically included. So there you go. And we will just associate it with your YouTube name and the donation as the targeters. So don't worry about that. That's immediately what's on my brain. We'll see if something else pops in there. You know how that goes. Didn't notice the time. Hey, Scooby, glad you can make it. GK, good to see you. Welcome, celebrating life. Amen. Yes, love that celebrating life. Jacob, hey. Is your Discord still going on? Can I have an invite link? The Discord server, Discord just up and deleted us for no reason, no explanation, no nothing. We sent them over 50 emails, got no response. We do have a Gilded server, which, Jade, if you can grab that link and drop it here, you can definitely have that link because, yeah, there is just no Discord, which is sad. They just did us wrong. I've been told they did that with a lot of metaphysical servers. I know of a few, but I don't know if it counts as a lot. I think I know 10 or 12 myself, which I guess 10 or 12 personally could add up to a lot. MM, good to see you. Scarlett, okay, Drake, let's go. Yes, let's get going. So, many of you have commented on how much you are liking the little motivational shorts we're doing. I do plan to keep those up. I do plan to do a few short videos on other topics, not shorts themselves, like 6 to 10 minute videos. And all of you are commenting on how much you love the roundtable videos. Those are going to be continued. So we are going to try and space them out. So it's not have them all every week. We're going to try and change up the topics. In fact, we're wanting to visit into some cryptids, so look forward to that. And we're also wanting to talk about some metaphysical life things. One thing that at some point we've considered doing, and hopefully Jade will join me in on, is being a metaphysical parent. So there's a lot of things in those roundtables we were wanting to touch on. So yeah. Let's see. Let's see, 10 or 20 is I mean, people get 10 or 20 is a lot. I have no idea what you're commenting on, Scooby. Did you read your... Oh, did you? No, I have not, Angela. This week has been crazy. This was definitely not a normal week for me. Had a lot to do, a lot of research, personal research and projects that I had to work on for myself and clients, as well as some logistics for the evocation class that I'm hoping I got nailed down. And it's just been a really awkward week where my general routine got really shaken up. So I did not, unfortunately, get a chance to read that. I do apologize. On the upside, it was a good week. Do I know any dragons who like coffee as much as me? I know a lot of dragons who like coffee. It's hard to say whether they like it as much as me. There is a dragon in the 102 course. Who often appears, or anyone in the 102 course, when I say he appears as a dwarf most of the time to me, he comes to mind as the one that gets the most excited about coffee comparatively to me. AT, yes, click the like button, get the likes up, nugs up. Thank you, AT. We got 26 people in here and only 11 thumbs. We need more thumbs. So, Maria, are there any important tips when giving offerings to dragons, or is it giving any other entity an offering? When you give an offering to a dragon, don't think of it as an offering. Think of it as a gift. Think of it as you would, if you have a guest at your home or a friend visiting, and you want to prepare dinner for them because you care for them. You're not expecting anything in return. You just want to show your gratitude for that friend. You want to treat your friend with respect and treat them well. Approach it with that same mentality. Dragons really aren't big on the this for that offering concept. They relatively find it insulting because it's like we're trying to buy their help or their friendship. So when we give an offering of any kind, whatever we give, it should be given completely in friendship only. If that makes sense, Maria. AJ, what would your advice be for a pagan parent? It's not like a regular thing, and I'm worried my child will suffer social issues from it. Well, this is something we will be talking about in a roundtable for sure. But the quick on it is teach your child to be themselves. See, I grew up in an area where it didn't matter what you were, people were going to pick on you. In fact, there's part of me that says we need more people picking on people because we need to develop kind of a thick skin to criticism. And it's not just because people are jerks. I mean, people are jerks by and large, but it's also life itself, okay? Life itself is not going to coddle us. And if we want to succeed in life, we have to be able to take criticism. We have to be able to handle the trips and falls that will come. Show me a man who has never failed, and I'll show you a man who has never tried. And that goes for women too. So I have been very adamant with my daughters to focus on being comfortable with who they are, the hell with what the world says about them, and don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And if you build this mentality in any person, regardless of what their path is, they're going to be okay. To that, I would also add, teach them respect, teach them critical thinking, teach them true understanding, and I do mean true critical thinking too, and let them choose their path. Their path may not be your path, parents. My mom knows this. My dad knows this. My path was not their path. And don't throw a fit if they choose, say, a Christian path. They may do that. That's okay. But if you taught them critical thinking and respect, you're going to be good to go. And they will be armed and ready to handle what life throws at them. Okay? That's the short of it, mate. Let's see here. We got a super chat in from Anthony. Is there any other events like the hunt Odin goes on that happen at different times of the year? It seems like there are, but right now I am tired and I'm sort of drawing a blank. But there are different groups. Some people think the Wild Hunt is associated with all these different groups. That's very possible, especially considering the Wild Hunt in and of itself does actually have these other individuals with it as well, usually. You do have when the Fate Courts switch over at the equinoxes, but that's not necessarily like the hunt itself. In some legends and lore, you have entities that wander around seeking gifts of food. There's a relatively comical one about an undead horse. So there are events if you look into folklore. There's even one where Odin himself, on his way back from the hunt, it is tradition to leave boots out with straw in them for Slafnir. So that's another one. So they're out there if you dig into the mythology. It's actually kind of cool. Whether they're literal events or stories to explain things, that's philosophical and debatable, but of course it should. Most things are philosophical. But it's definitely fun to research it for sure. Let's see. Star, good to see you. Thank you. It's going to be failure is part of learning after all. Yes, it is. Failure is a teaching tool. It's not actually a negative. It's only a negative if you apply it as such. Small Bean asks, hey, Drake, what's your opinion to Conway giving the answers in her Dragon Magic Pathworking book series? It bothers the piss out of me. Seriously. I have an issue with any pathworking where instead of being given the framework and you being allowed to develop your skill set and have an experience yourself, where the person just spoon feeds you what they want you to see, what they want you to do, because that's not really path working. That's just me telling you what you're supposed to see in your head. I can do that with a book. Heck, you read The Lord of the Rings. We all went on the venture together, didn't we? Wasn't a path working, wasn't a spiritual experience, but we all went on that adventure. Harry Potter, we did the same thing. And to me, when you give the answers to a path working like that, it's no more than a book. It really is. It's no more than just a story. So I personally have issues with it, personally. Dragon of the West, does magic have some kind of a backlash? Like if you do bad things to others, okay, if you're talking about like the threefold law or something like that, that is something that is based upon traditions and self-belief. Magic is a tool like any other thing. It's a hammer. If you drive a nail, do you get a nail driven in your head? No, you do not. Magic is a tool. What you do with it morally is up to you, and you have to live with it and sleep with it, and you have to live with that on your conscience one way or the other. So if you do something bad with it, how you do it, your reasons for doing it, yes, that speaks upon you, but it's not going to necessarily cause a mirrored backlash. That said, screw around and find out, because there are a lot more people who practice magic than people think. And baneful magic is not easy to do. If you don't have the balls and courage and conviction to deal with the problem physically and actually deal with that person face on, you don't have the courage and conviction to utilize magic for baneful magic. It takes an absolute, undaunting, unrepentive, full conviction of actions. No doubt is possible. So there's that. And if you're worried about backlash, you don't have that conviction to begin with. So if a person's worried about backlash, I really ain't worried about them doing baneful magic either. Do spirit guides give their names? They can. I mean, they may not be the concept of true names is a weird concept from tradition to tradition. Sometimes it functions, sometimes it doesn't. But an entity can give you a name, and that name will work to contact the entity. So if your spirit guide gives you a name, it's respectable to call it by that name. Because if I walk up, I meet somebody new and like, hey, I'm Drake, how you doing? And they give me their name. I'm going to do everything I can to call them by that name. I forget names a lot. Y'all know that. But I do it. Now, at the same time, if I say my name's Drake and they deliberately start calling me Donnie, I might punch them. I might do it because I ain't Donnie. And if they're deliberately doing it just to piss me off, well, I will give them credit. They're going to piss me off and I'm going to punch them. But yeah. So if they give you, it's perfectly normal to get a name. Health issues. Okay, this is a big one. First off, make sure you're seeing your medical practitioner because metaphysical healing of any kind does not replace modern medical science, ever. This channel will never say otherwise. That said, you could use any form of magic. You could work with the dragons. Coralegra is great with healing, as is Terrafana. You could utilize the Dragon's Flame ritual to empower a healing candle spell. But it has to be in conjunction with physical practice. You also have to do it here in the physical. You actually have to take care of yourself. So, for example, my fat ass, I can't just do a spell and expect fat to just disappear. I actually have to do the eating correctly. I have to do the working out. Can the magic speed it up, make it easier? Yes. Will it just poof, fat ass be gone? No. I wish it would. That'd come in handy, but it won't. And before anyone says I'm not fat, I'm joking with myself here, okay? I do want to lose weight, but for reasons it's not, I actually like the way I look. But I am trying to get healthier long term. Want to stay around, bug my daughter as many years as I possibly can. You know what I mean? Let's see. Do you have any advice on learning to train your mind to see from different perspectives? This is my current challenge. You have to force yourself into a different perspective. You literally have to put yourself in the perspective of someone probably you disagree with. And you have to try and see their argument, even if you hate it. That's kind of what you have to do. It is hard, it is uncomfortable, but it is very doable. I do it every day. I was actually raised to do it. Let's see. Non-spiritual question: do you use swear words in your private life? If so, why or why not? Yes, I do. In fact, what you all see here, you catch me slipping quite a bit. I know I've slipped a lot on this stream already. I grew up in a military family, period. Swear words were just emotional accents, like exclamation points. And I was also raised in a very logical concept of words don't have power that you don't give them. A swear word, as some people call them, it's a word. That's all it is. It is a descriptive word for something. You can use dung, you can use feces, you can use excrement, and you can use shit. All three are descriptive words for the same thing. Just because someone decides this one is more offensive than this one or this one doesn't change it. There are plenty of people who think dung is a swear word. So it's about the meaning you want to assign to it. I actually know a friend that you say the word fool to him, that's a swear word, and he'll smack you through a wall. It's a matter of perspective. That said, I do use it in my private life. I'm also very mindful about being respectful around people, for example. So if I go into a household where I know swear words are not the common tongue, we'll say, I'll refrain from using them. I'll keep it very polite. I've actually been taught really well manners. It's kind of a Southern thing. We're always taught manners. So, yes, in my personal and private life amongst friends, we articulate very much so. Like I said, I grew up in a military family. I'm around military personnel all the time. So it's just part of the lingo. It's part of the communication. It's almost like slang. It's just how that communication flows. But again, when I go into a place where I know it shouldn't be, I don't use it. For example, I will never cuss in church, ever. It's just, it has nothing to do with I believe it's wrong. It has to do with respecting those who are there and their space. If you can't respect another person's space, don't ever ask anyone to respect your space. Remember that. Do not ask for what you will not give. There we go. Hope that answers a little bit, AT, but that's a good question, actually. That is a good question. I haven't thought about swear words in so long. Again, military. But that's a good one. That's a good one. Dragon of the West, they don't feed off the objects in the physical world. They take the energy from them. And other creatures, say animals or whatnot, that sometimes the entities will work through will take the physical product. Like the Fae will often allow animals of the woods to take the physical product and they take the energy. Same thing with entities. But the non-physical being does not need a physical substance. It's all about the energy. Is that Hassafeffer? I like that name. Drake, did you think after read books, DJ Conway people is ready to start working with dragons? That's. I mean, I got started with Conway's books. I can't deny that. I've mentioned that many a times on here. But there's a lot of editing and fluff that she put in there that even she didn't want to. And a good part of my Dragon Magic 101 course and 102 course that I did was actually in conjunction with some of her work, because her and I actually emailed back and forth on my research and findings and how they compared to what she couldn't publish at the time. And honestly, there's still publishers who still won't let people publish. That's why I chose to go through a self-structured medium. So the only person I answer to is this little redneck right here. But I mean, her books are, it's a functioning point. You just got to sort through a lot. And it can slow some people down. I know it slowed me down drastically. But yeah, it's doable. I mean, I would actually recommend the 101 class over Conway's works. Because she actually wished that would have been available when she published hers. And then there's the amount of students that have constantly given me critiques and everything about how they wish they'd started there over Conway's. And also, her stuff was published really wonky in just general order. But I still love her for publishing and taking that step to step out and do something different, because at the time, different was not good. Which you can see by the fact that she had to do so much to just edit it to get it published. And we jumped. Teradar, hey, good to see you. Komodo, hey everyone, glad you're per usual to see one of Working Dragon Mystic streams. Hey, good to see you, Komodo. Also, do remember, speaking of me raised military, remember we are actually going to start supporting wounded warriors here at Working Dragon Mystic. I'm hoping to do a live stream specifically dedicated to them, and I'm trying to figure out, apparently there's some way I can set it up so that you all can donate to them via Working Dragon Mystic on a video. I don't know. I'm working on that. Somebody said I could do that. I don't know if I can do that. We know I'm technologically stupid, so we'll figure that out. But again, I will remind everybody that Wounded Warriors is not political. They just give back to those who have given so much to us already. It has nothing to do with politics. All right. get you back up a little where we jumped. Lascumi, glad I could catch you. Hey, Lascumi, thank you for making it. Mugs up. GG, yes, the entities absorb the energy from the object that was offered. That is correct. Kevin McCown. I like to. Well, to be quite frank, Kevin, blood actually has water in it. It will actually evaporate and deteriorate, and there's actually very little physical left. And on something like tarot cards, it actually doesn't stick well. So it can easily flake off just by picking the card up. Also, there's mice, rodents, and insects that will consume the physical proteins that are left over even as it evaporates. Some even before it evaporates. So that's actually pretty normal. I actually had this happen with a friend of mine that we literally put a camera on her tarot card when she did it. She was mortified to find out she has a roach problem. So there was that. Thank you for the response. No problem. That's why we're here. That is why we're here. That and to drink coffee and have fun, which we're doing good on the drinking coffee part. I'm having fun. Hopefully you are too. But yeah, I do. I swear a lot in my private life. You guys, like, there's a few people who've seen me on here, and then they got into a live chat with me someplace, and they realized I have to edit myself a bit. I have to behave. It's hard. Let's see, wasn't it by the Naval Academy today? I remember marching in the stadium and that pleasant memory. My stepdad graduated Naval Academy. Very proud of him. Well, definitely sit back and relax there, Tara. Get some rest. Feel better. Feel better, Cher. Dragon magic but saw that I needed to construct an actual sanctum. Strangely enough, I'm hearing things more about my house and seeing white feathers. Did you get that cool hat, by the way? This one specifically, it's Jackson Hat Company. All my hats are relatively easy to purchase, crushable felt usually, except my leather one, obviously, which is steer hide. And last time I looked, they stopped making it, so I don't know what I'm going to do there. Luckily, I have found this one and this one here, also by Jackson. This one I know is called the Ford Fedora. So we can all kind of guess where this one was designed off of. It's one of the old classic fedoras with the much larger brim. I do not like the little tiny brims. I've never been a tiny brim hat fan. So this one I purchased at random because I was a little unsure about it. I did not like the brown band, but I'll be honest with you, I've fallen in love with this hat. Me and this hat have been through quite a bit. I have crushed this hat quite a bit too. You can actually see probably right here. Somehow or another, I accidentally parked my computer chair on it. Popped right back into shape, though. Do not know how many days the chair was sitting on it. I'm melting in this heat. I will always drink coffee, though. Hey, old Southern trick. We drink hot coffee to cool us off. Because if you kind of raise your internal temperature just a little bit, the air helps pass over and cool you down a bit more, or at least gives the illusion thereof. So yeah, we always drink some coffee. We'll take water with us to work. Don't get us wrong. We'll take water. You don't throw hay and stuff without your water. But we also got the thermos of coffee for after. You know what I mean? So you drink the waters during work and during lunch, and then you finish your lunch with that good hot cup of coffee. Old Southern farming trick, ranching, farming, the whole bit. Coffee is the greatest magic during this hour. It pretty is. Coffee gets me through the day by a long shot. How long did it take you to be able to see entities in arcane sight? Arcane sight initially with the eyes closed came pretty easy to me with eyes closed. I'm not sure why. It was a trickier bit to transition from eyes closed to eyes open for me. In fact, arcane hearing came far easier. So I don't really know exactly when it kicked over for arcane sight being able to see entities eyes open. But I do remember how I did it. I would be interacting with my guardian, for example, and I'd be having a conversation in real time around the house. Luckily, my wife knows what I'm doing, so she doesn't think I'm crazy for talking to myself. And there was actually other people who would see my dragon moving around the house. But I realized one day I'm in the kitchen talking, and I look over and I see my guardian just yammering away at me. It just kind of naturally clicked in somehow. So it took a while, but I don't know exactly the exact time frame. I want to say it took me, if I ballparked it, I have to get my journals out to get more accurate. I'd say anywhere from year to year and a half, eyes open, seeing. With eyes closed, it took me about a month. And I did pick that one up a little quickly. Even my teacher said so. In fact, my original teacher, Raven, you all have heard me mention her before, metaphysics. She actually admits that my ability to pick certain things up quickly also added to the fact that I got myself in a lot of trouble, which is true. I tend to do a lot of stupid stuff. Now, if I take my hat off, it goes blindingly bright because of my bald head reflecting lights back at the camera. Actually, it'd go dark after your eyes are blinded, so that makes sense. See what we got here. See, I'm working on the astral with one of my deity guys recently. I'm making small steps and notice a few interesting things. Objects exist there that they do not in the physical plane. That is correct, Devilman. That is correct. The astral plane does not necessarily fully mimic the material. There is a lot of distortion, and there's a lot of things there that aren't here. And then there's things that replicate or look similar. The astral plane is not an exact replica. That is. So you're doing good. And remember, small steps matter. In fact, I would say small steps are better than large steps because you have a better understanding as you move forward, personally speaking. So keep it up. Much up to you. See, holy crap, it's John Cena. Arcane Touch was easiest for me. I've met a lot of people who actually do pick up on that one first. That one was not one I did well, but then I'm not a touchy-feely person, so that might have something to do with it. I have noticed that people who pick up on touch usually are the huggers, the cuddly people, they get in your space. And I've always been, I want my space, stay away. I've actually growled at people for hugging me without permission. Not gonna lie. Which is weird because my daughter is a hugger. Oh, dear God. She will just full on run across the house and try to tackle me. Luckily, she don't weigh 90 pounds soaking wet, so she ain't going to topple me over or nothing. Let's see. Is it true that the Goidic demon should be invoked at a specific time or day, IG? Nope, it is not. You can utilize times a day, but it is not required under any shape, form, or fashion. Myself and at least 32 magicians I'm aware of have tested this till we're blue in the face and got no different results based on time of day. Or time of year for that matter. Also, I would specify I would rather evoke them, not invoke them. Evoke is an external communication where you and them have a conversation. Invoking is where you're pulling that energy into yourself, and that can have a lot of repercussions. It will make an energetic change and shift to you, and you really can't control how that change or shift may affect you. So you really don't want to be doing that at random. I know that I mentioned the difference between evocation and invocation in a video. And I do know there's a modern change where people saying evocation is a forceful domination. That is a very modern viewpoint because literally one means external communication, the other is internal communication. So outside that modern definition of evocation, I would go with evocation, not invocation, until you have worked with the entity quite a bit and know them and trust them fully. The journal drop swears by my journal. You got to love the journals. If it wasn't my journal, I don't know what I'd do. I am a research note junkie. Let's see. Oscar, is there a recommended amount of time to work on the senses daily? See, that's a great question, Oscar, but honestly, it's also a tricky one because we are looking at different people will do better with different times. Like me, I can sit down, work on my senses for 10 to 20 minutes, and that's really good. It's I generally recommend my students to try, especially when they're first starting out, work on their senses for that 10 to 20 minute period to try and develop them. At the same time, I'm also encouraging them to construct an astral sanctum and spend time there interacting with it because this engages the arcane senses as well. So not only are you training it, but now you have this fun activity that's actually utilizing it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the difference between reading an instruction manual to a video games controller and sitting down and finally playing it. It just, once you're actively utilizing it, it tends to sink in a little quicker. So I generally have them do that, but I do try and get them to where they're doing at least 10 minutes a day. Any knowledge to share on dragon riders, please? By and large, dragon riders, as we know them in myth and legends, don't exist. Dragons do not act as mounts or serve as mounts or serve humans in any shape, form, or fashion. They actually find those stories pretty insulting. For any role players out there, if you've ever read the old books or the old campaign setting Dragonlance, the dragons despise that setting. Which sucks because I actually like that setting personally. But they do despise it because of the way dragons are treated. Of course, they're not too fond of general fantasy for different reasons, but they understand that dragons in most of our fantasy are not intelligent dragons like them. But yeah, dragon riders as a staple, that doesn't happen, actually. Unfortunately. That's not to say that on occasion a dragon would not allow a close and true friend to piggyback on them if they're going the same location, much the same way if, I trust you, I'd let you probably ride my car. But yeah, as general like relationship where the dragon is the mount of this thing, nope. They are not animals, they are not mounts, and they will let you know it. See what we got here. We have a super chat that popped in. Anthony, besides entities of voodoo, what other entities should we avoid? See, that's a tricky one because when we look into mythos, when we look into lore, we have to understand what the entity is, what their purpose is in the lore. And we need to understand the lore and culture surrounding them. There is not just a list of avoid these entities that I can give, Anthony. For example, Tiamat, by and large, is a wonderful dragon to work with, or goddess, depending on, because dragons understand her as a dragon, and, mythology understands her as a dragon / goddess base because the people did worship her. Now, that said, she is an entity of raw chaos. Now, to a dragon magic practitioner, we know chaos is not mischief. We know chaos is not trickery. We know chaos is destruction and creation. And neither of those two can ever exist around an entity of chaos without the other. Which means if you want anything created in your life while working with a chaos dragon, there must be destruction, period. You can't sugarcoat it. Now, that said, you go in unprepared and unknowledgeable, Tiamat will wreck you, period. That's why so many people have had so many bad experiences with an entity like her. But those aren't, any entity like that will do that. In Norse mythology, we have Agraboda. Agraboda is, her name literally translates into the destroyer, the sorrow bringer. There is nothing good associated with Agraboda. Yet now we've got people trying to twist the lore around to place her as the mother who can love the unloved and try to turn her into a maternal figure. I've never seen any good come from working from Agraboda. In fact, I've seen an entire Norse workshop who actually had someone invoke Agraboda for the next 3 years. Everyone that attended that had nothing but the absolute worst bad luck. They lost houses, cars, home, jobs. There were deaths in families, massive illness. I know 4 people who had amputations. It was bad. So you got to do the lore. I can't just give a list because there are a lot of very positive entities with very bad acts out there. Azazel's one of them. Can Azazel be a harsh teacher? Definitely. Absolutely can be a harsh teacher. And if you're not ready to do the work and you're not ready to deal with the harshness, you would view that as a very negative entity, most likely. But if you do the work, you can get a lot out of it and come out for the better on the other end. That's why angels are usually viewed easier to work with because they're a little more subtle. They're a little more gentle in most cases. Not all cases, most cases. Hope that makes a little sense. So do your research because I can't just give a single list. I mean, when it comes to dragons, it's easy to break it up into this element is harsh, this element's not. That's why you have the lower rulers and you have the higher rulers, and you don't want to work with these until you have a foundation here. Because these, they ain't going to sugarcoat shit. Hope that helps a little. Great interview last week after spell donation. This spell donation is hoping for follow-up interview with the manager. Roger that. Will do. Glad it went well. Got me some spell working to do this week. Love it, guys. Love it. Thank you for the super chats. Mugs up to you all. And that's not to say Tiamat or any of these other are just bad entities in general. You do need to understand what you're working with. In fact, I adore Tiamat personally. Let's see. Gigi, I've used your 101 spell for awakening arcane senses in my sanctum. The energy I shaped from the rulers felt incredibly heavy. Absorbing it was incredibly hard. Headache was massive after. Yes, when you start working with higher levels of energy, think of it kind of like working out. The more you lift, the more sore your muscles are. You will have to metaphysically adapt to those energies. It can take a while. Don't overdo it, GG. If you're getting too bad of headaches to slow you down or something, maybe ease up on it a little bit. If you can handle the headaches and they're not slowing you down, not crippling you in any shape, form, or fashion, you have to be your own judge. Because my tolerance for discomfort and pain, Very different from a lot of other people's. But that is, that's pretty normal. Scooby, that would be a question for, me and the daughter set up a D&D channel. We haven't done much with it, but maybe we should start doing more with it. But I try to separate them because I don't want people thinking this is a D&D channel. Let's see. Diana, do you ever use divinations for yourself in conjunction with personal spellcraft, not for clients, or do you simply use good judgment and reasoning? Okay, I think I use divinations more than good judgment. Both my wife, my friends, and my mentors will tell you I'm a dummy. I'm the Steve Irwin of magicians. It's like if you shouldn't touch it, I want to touch it. But yes, I love using divinations. In fact, we have a video coming out this month on scrying and the fact that it's actually one of my favorite divinations. And I do use divinations, but I use it much like plotting a roadmap. I don't use it to see in the future to find out if I will win the lottery. No. I look into the future asking questions about actions to bring about the results I'm pursuing in the material realm or in the magic I'm doing to plot out a roadmap forward. So, for example, every year I will actually do a full year scrying where I will scry the whole year and my goals, how I want to get to my goals by the end of that year, right? Then I start pulling back month by month. I look at December, I look at November, I look at October, September, I go all the way back. And I look at each month on a weekly basis on what I can do, and I plot that into a journal. Everything I'm seeing, best course of action at that point. Now, here's the thing. I'm coming all the way back to where I'm at now, right? Let's say New Year's. As I go through, when I go through January, I take a second look at February. February will not stay the same because things have changed. Anytime you look forward, emotions, current events, all these things will change. There's almost an infinite plotting. So by making the initial roadmap, it gives me a base guideline. And then every month when I'm continually doing those divinations, sometimes I do it weekly, sometimes I do it once a month, just depends on how things are running. It allows me to correct course just like if you were following a map. I literally use divinations the same way. I hope that makes sense. I know a lot of people can't even read maps today, so hopefully I didn't lose you all on that. But yeah, I absolutely love using them in that manner. See, Angela, also be nice when you approach some people, have bad encounters, but then say, oh, I talked to them like XYZ before. So make sure you're nice and respectful. Yes, always be nice and respectful to an entity. Always. Always. I'd say 80% of people with bad experiences, they were complete dicks to the entity first. Also, we got 36 people and 22 likes. If you're here, hit the thumbs up, people. Give us a like. Algorithm loves them. And I like it too. It makes me feel good. We'd appreciate it. Do you know the name of civilizations that first started worshiping Tiamat or their time frame of history? How did they discover her? As to how they discovered her, that I'm not 100% sure. No. Essentially, I want to say it's Sumerian. There's more than one civilization that worshipped her, but I want to say it was the Sumerian. Was the first. But I mean, as far as the exacts of how, no. I don't spend too much time in the past outside lore because I want to make progress. So unless the past lore has a lot to do with moving forward, not so much. I've known way too many magicians who get lost in the past and then they can't figure out why their life is crap because they're not even paying attention to the present, much less the future. So I don't spend overly too much time in the past for that reason. If you are the Steve Irwin of magicians, then Don't go near abyss stingrays. Let's see. Come on, I have a question. If you're willing to answer, we'll see if I'm willing. Never say it until I hear the question. Honestly, just curious as to if you know how spirits like Goidic spirits with more negative media portrayal feel about how they're shown in fiction. Okay, interestingly enough, the Goetic spirits don't give a rat's patoot. Here's their viewpoint. They are who they are. Our opinion of them, our media's opinion of them, doesn't matter. Any magician worth their salt and worth their time to work with is going to do the legwork and take the time to get to know them. So if someone's terrified of them because of some spooky story or bad press, and they're not willing to take the time to do the research, they don't care. They really just don't care. Kind of that whole concept that, I've even tried to get you all to learn, be comfortable with yourself. You are who you are, regardless of what these people out here say. You're always in the world. There are going to be more people who have something bad to say about you than something good. Period. I know it sucks, but that's a reality. We'd want people to think well of us, but more than likely, no. Most people will have something bad to say, whether it be out of spite, jealousy, envy, all these crappy things. And none of it matters. No matter what someone says, it does not matter. What matters is, are you okay when you look in the mirror? Can you be left alone with your thoughts, your voice? Are you comfortable with who you are? When I lay down tonight, am I proud of what I did today? If I am, great. If not, change it. Don't beat yourself up. Just change it. Work to do better tomorrow. That's what tomorrow is. We do better. If you're proud of what you did, keep it up. Heck, try to do better. That's how we grow. But you got to be okay with you. You. Outside opinions don't matter. Look at yourself. Empower yourself. Self-mastery, self-empowerment is about self, not what everyone thinks of self. Remember that. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah, I was right. Sumerian. Okay, cool. Like I said, it's been a long weekend. I got a lot bouncing around in my head. So sometimes I get my ancient cultures crossed. So I was right, Sumerian. Cool. Thank you so much. Need to hear that. No problem. I think more people need to be told other people's opinion don't matter. My generation was raised with a very common phrase: sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. It was very simple. We told it to freaking 3-year-olds, and it was true. Other people's words don't matter. The only power they have over us and our emotions is the power we give them. That's it. You can't be offended unless you choose to be offended by something somebody says. Someone calls me a dummy, my feelings can't be hurt unless I let it. I've been told I should not call myself a redneck. Why insult yourself that way? Well, first off, I don't view it as an insult. I do not view it as an insult. I'm very proud of who I am and my heritage and where I come from and how I was raised. I am who I am. When I call myself that, I will call myself as I see myself fit to call myself. And in a lot of ways, actually, when I call myself that, it's a motivator toward goals that I'm working on, because I know that though I am a handsome little devil, health-wise, for long-term living and being around to bug you all and my daughter, especially my daughter, she deserves to be bugged, I could shed a few pounds for overall longevity. And that's all. Do not let the world dictate who you are. Anyways, off my soapbox for the time. Let's see. Thank you, Tara. Thank you. At Maria, shadow work is hard. It is facing the traumas, our fears, and everything, but those are part of us. We have to accept our fears. We have to accept our trauma, even, unfortunately. And we like I can't go into it on YouTube. They'll have me thrown off. But there is plenty of trauma in my life, to say the very least. And healing trauma doesn't mean you get rid of it. It's always there. It's always going to be there. But it's also understanding that helped to make you who you are. So every bad thing that's happened in my life, every bad thing, helped to shape the crazy redneck wizard I have become today. And this crazy old mage, he's helping a lot of people. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the bad. That's kind of part of what that shadow work is. So going back, I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but I wouldn't change it for me, because it made me who I am. And part of shadow work is that understanding of it does help to make you who you are, and being comfortable with who you are and embracing who you are. Let's see, Angela, you'd come back and haunt us, Drake. I could picture you in hell and Loki pulling around and bothering. Oh, you can bet I'd be bothering people. Oh, you can bet it. I'd visit sanctums if people would let me in. That's for sure. Yeah, and I will say this: anyone who does shadow work and says it's easy, they're lying to you. They ain't never done shadow work. Period. If it's easy, you didn't do it. So stop lying. Just go sit down. The adults are talking. Shadow work is hard, Maria. You should be proud of the progress you're making. Okay, I've seen you in the Gilded community. I've seen your comments, and my hat just fell. You are doing a great job. You are doing a great job. There are indeed symbols that I'm currently not allowed to publish publicly on YouTube Hermetics. Unfortunately, the dragons have been very specific about that, which is even why they forced me to go back and change the 9 ruler video into the 4 ruler video. So, yeah. Those should, unless the dragons screw with the current outline, those should be in Dragon Magic 103, though. Drake, you have 3 minutes. I do, don't it? Where's Jade? Jade, are you there? Did Jade fall asleep, people? She ain't throwing no clocks at me. What's going on? Here, I'm going to head out. Take it easy, Tara. Everybody's like, don't tell him. Well, at least I know you all ain't tired of me rambling on up here. I do appreciate that. See, what entity surprised me the most? Oh, that one, that I really don't know. There's been so many over the years. I really don't know how to answer that. Because there's been so many that surprised me in both terrifying ways and wonderful ways. In fact, the most recent was Raphael, Archangel Raphael. During filming an evocation of Raphael for the evocation course, him and I had a conversation and an exchange that I did not expect. I did not see him coming, and it floored me, and it left me a little bit choked up. So that I found it extremely surprising. Was it the most surprising? Maybe not, but it was something I did not see coming, period. And it really changed the way I look at mine and his relationship in a positive way. And I'm very grateful for the experience. I've had similar with Lucifer and Odin, Hell. I've had similar with Loki. I've had similar with Zeus and Aphrodite, but all for different ways. It's almost like every friendship is truly unique. It's really hard to say this is the best person I've ever met, because every person's so unique and individual, and the way we interact with them, the friendship we share with them is unique. Like my friendship with Raven or Katrina or my buddy Nitro, all 3 of those are very unique relationships. And though I would place them equal amongst my friends, I do not interact equally with them because of those. Hope that helps a little bit. All right, Jade is throwing clocks at me because she is attentive. So we are going to have to get ready to wrap up here. Everyone, thank you for the super chats. Everyone, thank you for joining us tonight. Hopefully you guys have had as much fun as I did. If you are interested in any of our classes, go over to workingdragonmystic.com, check it out. I think the most expensive course we got is $30, and they start out at like 10 or 15. It is lifetime access. It is work at your own pace. And if there's any updates to any of the materials, it is absolutely free as well when you purchase the course. So, woohoo, there you go. Also, I'm supposed to say we are planning to do more workshops, live workshops on Zoom. So keep an eye out. I will be announcing those here, probably in shorts as well, which does remind me we do have shorts. Go check out some of our shorts. Watch me be goofy and attempt to figure that thing out. And until next time, everyone, you have a fantastic week. Keep making progress. Even if it's small steps, it is progress, okay? Don't worry about it if you trip and fall. Get back up. Learn from the experience and keep moving forward. We all fall down. We all trip. We all have our days. What is important is we continue to move forward, okay? All right, everyone, take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.